DJ lessons I wish I learned earlier. I'm DJ Spiegel, and in this video, we're going to talk about it. Topic is really personal to me because when I first started DJing about 7 years ago, it was really frustrated and I was very misguided. So this video, I intend to inspire new DJs and then also the people that follow my channel that have been DJing for a while, maybe to reminisce on what it was like when they first started. And let me know in the comments if you've been through any of these things, or if you agree or if you don't agree. Alright, so let's get started. I think is really important that I've learned the hard way over the years is to raise your prices, because DJing is a lot of work and a lot goes into it. So before I started getting gigs, I was used to working dead-end jobs for $10 an hour or $12 an hour. And then when close family members and friends started offering me gigs, I didn't know what to charge them for. So they would be like, the party's 4 hours is $200, all right? And I was like, $200 for 4 hours? That's $50 an hour. Yeah, I'll do that. But then I realized that a lot goes into, you can't just go there in the beginning of the party. You have to set up all your equipment, make sure all your equipment's ready. And then after the party, you have to tear down all the equipment, pack it all back up, bring it home, make sure you don't break anything. And then on top of that, every gig that you do, you have to put in hours and hours of work building the playlist and planning for that gig, and you should charge accordingly. So definitely raise your prices and make sure that you get paid for what your time and what your skill set is worth. The next thing that I wish I knew when I first started DJing is that sometimes at some gigs, or when you're DJing in front of some type of crowds, some people just won't dance. So some people, they're not really dancers. There's a whole group of people that aren't going to dance, and don't take it personally when you're DJing and nobody's dancing, because it could be that you're doing absolutely nothing wrong, and that these people, they just like to chill, maybe sit there, bop their head, but they're not real big dancers. Like at my last job, when I was a Red Bull delivery driver, it was the Christmas party, and then they asked me if I wanted to DJ, so I was like, yeah, of course, I'll DJ for the Christmas party. And then when I was DJing, most of the people there were like rough and tough truck drivers and stuff, and they really didn't want to dance to like hip hop or EDM or that type of music. I guess they just really wanted to get drunk, but they kept asking me, play Metallica, play this and play that, and it was really frustrating to be the DJ and nobody really cared about the DJing. So just keep that in mind, that not every gig that you do, not everyone's gonna go nuts on the dance floor, and that's fine. So you just have to accept that. Another thing that I wish I knew earlier is that to focus more on reading a crowd and playing music for the audience that's there, and not just be in your basement or in your bedroom practicing beat matching, watching all the tutorials on how to scratch and how to beat match and how to do all this, because that's what I did. And then when eventually I did start getting gigs, I would just do the same thing that I was doing in my house, and the crowd, really weren't feeling it, and it wasn't what they wanted at the time. And it was really frustrating because I felt like, oh, I worked so hard, I learned all these tricks, like that was a perfect beat match, and that was a chirp scratch connected to a flare scratch. But nobody really cared because I had no experience DJing in front of a crowd of people, and people are unpredictable, and part of being a DJ, one of the most important parts, is reading the crowd and knowing what song to play next. And most people that you're going to be DJing for don't care about the tricks, don't care about if you did a perfect mix. What they care about is if you played music that they enjoyed. So I would definitely suggest that if you're a new DJ just starting out, get your first gigs as soon as possible, so you could practice DJing in front of people, because it's the best practice you will ever get as a DJ. And now on that same topic, don't worry about the equipment. Don't think, oh, I can't be a DJ because I can't afford all this expensive equipment, or don't feel like you need to go and buy the newest controller that comes out, because the controllers aren't going to really make that much of a difference. You could do a great DJ set on a little controller like this one, and the only people that are really going to care about your DJ controller are going to be other DJs if there's other DJs in the audience. So don't worry about the equipment as much. You could DJ a perfectly good DJ set with just your iPad, and you don't need to go and spend all your money on the latest equipment, because the equipment doesn't make the DJ. It's your skills and your experience in DJing that make you a better DJ. And another thing is to be patient, because DJing, just like other stuff, like I guess golf or whatever, is you can't just do it the first time you go. It's just like scratching. DJing requires muscle memory, and you're going to be using combinations of muscles that you're not used to using at the times that you're using them, if that makes sense. So like scratching, if for certain types of scratches, you have to move the jog wheel and then move the crossfader at almost the exact same time, but not the exact same time. And it can be very frustrating because the muscles in your hands and your fingers aren't used to moving in those type of ways. And the only way to get these techniques down is to just practice every single day and be consistent and keep practicing, and don't give up just because you can't do it right away. Because in Djay Pro, they had the scratch school, and I would be watching it. I'd be watching it, trying to do it, and so many times I would start and try it for a week, practice every day for a week, and then be like, I just can't do that. And then I would go back to it, and now eventually I got it down, and now I could do it effortlessly. But just be patient and wait for the muscle memory to kick in. Trust me, it's worth it. And now the next thing is focus on your playlist. Focus on preparing your tracks. That's what makes all these DJs great. Like, I used to go to raves, I would go out at weddings or whatever, and I would see the DJs, and or famous DJs on YouTube and stuff like that. And then you would think, oh, they were just born with skills, they're a ninja, this and that. But the best DJs, you see them DJ for an hour and a half or 3 hours or however long it is, but they've been practicing, they've been spending hours all week getting ready for that set, preparing their playlist, knowing what happens at every part of every song, so that when you do go to your gig, it just flows right out of you and it's not stressful. And if you're having a good time, it's more likely that the crowd is going to have a good time. So just keep that in mind, that the best DJs are the ones that prepare the most in advance. So set up a routine in your lifestyle, however it works, whether it's if you have a job where you could wear headphones, or if you're driving around and you could listen to music, use that time wisely to build your playlist, and then to listen to new songs, discover new songs. And then when you get home, set aside a half an hour to an hour a day to just build your playlist little by little. And as the months go by, as the weeks go by, eventually you'll have all these playlists and all of these tracks with cue points, and you'll be ready to go anytime that you want to DJ. You'll have you'll have the best tools available to you to DJ. Another thing that is really important is, when I first got into DJing, I wanted the DJ to, I guess, to tell people I'm a DJ, to try to get the attention, try to get the girls and stuff like that. But that's not really true, and you shouldn't focus and try to do something for what other people are going to think. And if you're choosing the DJ, make sure that it's something that you want to do for yourself, and not just for the validation of other people, because it'll throw you off, and it will really, if you're doing something for the wrong reason, then it's much harder to achieve your goals. So definitely keep that in mind, and let me know in the comments if there's anything I left out, and let me know if you guys agree with any of this stuff, and also if you guys have any other questions regarding DJing, or DJing with the iPad, or Djay Pro. I make DJ tutorial videos every single day about DJing with the iPad and DJing with Djay Pro, and basically just the future of DJing. So thank you.